Choosing an exterior color isn't just about painting a house, it's about making your home look expensive and full of character without trying too hard. The right shade can instantly elevate your curb appeal and completely transform the overall impression of a building. In today's video, we're diving straight into 10 warm, neutral exterior colors that make any home look expensive, giving your home that luxurious, calm, and timeless feel. Let's start with number 10. Color number 10, aesthetic white. Our journey begins with a color that feels effortlessly welcoming. Aesthetic white has become a favorite among modern farmhouse enthusiasts for good reason. It offers the freshness people love in white exteriors, but with a softness that feels warmer, calmer, and far more livable. Imagine a beautifully designed farmhouse tucked into a peaceful neighborhood. Black framed windows add contrast, natural cedar accents bring warmth, and carefully chosen landscaping softens the architecture. As the sun begins to set, the exterior takes on a gentle glow that feels both refined and inviting. What makes this color so appealing is its sense of balance. Nothing feels forced, nothing feels overly designed. Instead, the entire home feels collected and comfortable, as though it has naturally evolved into its best version over time. It's the kind of exterior that feels equally beautiful on a bright spring morning or during a quiet autumn evening, when porch lights begin to illuminate the entryway. There's a simplicity here that many homeowners find incredibly attractive. And while that understated charm is difficult to resist, the next color introduces an even deeper sense of warmth, one that feels wrapped in timeless elegance. Color number 9, Dimity. Some colors don't demand attention, they earn it. Dimity is one of those colors. From the very first glance, it creates an atmosphere that feels comforting, familiar, and quietly luxurious. Its creamy warmth has a way of making architecture feel softer and more welcoming without sacrificing sophistication. Picture an elegant cottage-inspired home surrounded by flowering gardens and mature trees. A stone pathway gently leads visitors toward a beautifully detailed front door, while warm lighting begins to glow beneath covered porches and window boxes. The entire property feels inviting, not because it's extravagant, because it's beautiful in a deeply human way. Dimity creates the kind of curb appeal that makes people imagine life inside the home. Family gatherings on the porch, slow Sunday mornings, evenings spent outdoors as the neighborhood settles into silence. There's a sense of comfort that feels almost timeless. Yet beneath that warmth lies an unmistakable elegance that elevates the entire exterior. And while Dimity excels at creating emotional warmth, the next color introduces something different, a richer, more designer-inspired level of sophistication. Color number 8, Natural Cream. Natural cream feels like the exterior equivalent of effortless luxury, the kind of luxury that never announces itself. It simply exists beautifully, confidently. Imagine arriving in a neighborhood filled with custom homes. Some are impressive, some are striking, yet one house immediately catches your attention, not because it's louder, because it feels more complete. Natural cream creates exactly that impression. Paired with natural stone, dark window frames, and thoughtfully layered landscaping, it gives the entire property a polished, professionally designed appearance. As afternoon sunlight moves across the facade, subtle depth begins to emerge. Architectural details become more noticeable. Materials appear richer. The home feels cohesive and intentional from every angle. This is a color that often makes people wonder whether an architect or designer was involved in the project, because everything feels elevated, refined, purposeful. And while natural cream creates remarkable curb appeal through balance and harmony, the next color begins to shift the focus toward architectural sophistication itself. Color number 7, shaded white. There are colors that complement architecture, and then there are colors that seem to elevate it. Shaded white belongs firmly in the second category. What makes it so compelling is the way it allows architectural details to become the star of the show. Roof lines feel cleaner. Stonework feels more intentional. Window proportions become more striking. Imagine a timeless residence with elegant symmetry, beautifully crafted trim details, and mature landscaping that has been carefully curated over many years. Throughout the day, shaded white responds beautifully to changing natural light. Morning light reveals its warmth. Afternoon light highlights its sophistication, and at dusk, as landscape lighting begins to illuminate pathways and architectural features, the entire home feels calm, graceful, and remarkably expensive. There's a quiet confidence here, a sense that nothing needs to be exaggerated. The architecture speaks for itself, and that restraint creates a level of elegance that's difficult to achieve. Still, the next color introduces a richness and character that brings even more depth to the luxury experience. Color number 6, garlic clove. By the time we reach number 6, luxury begins to feel more personal. Garlic clove introduces an earthy warmth that immediately connects a home to its surroundings. It feels especially beautiful when paired with natural materials that age gracefully over time. Imagine a custom-built residence nestled among mature trees. Stone columns frame the entryway. Rich wood beams add warmth beneath covered outdoor spaces. Soft landscape lighting highlights carefully selected textures as evening approaches. Garlic clove brings all of those elements together beautifully. There's depth here, character, a sense of authenticity that feels increasingly rare. Rather than creating a showroom perfect appearance, it creates something far more appealing, a home that feels established, grounded, and genuinely welcoming. As golden sunlight moves across the exterior, the facade seems to gain dimension. Stone appears richer. Wood feels warmer. Architectural details become more expressive. The result is luxury that feels lived in rather than staged. And that emotional connection sets the stage for a color that introduces an entirely different kind of sophistication. Color number 5, hay. At number 5, the atmosphere changes. Hay introduces a subtle European influence that immediately feels romantic, timeless, and incredibly inviting. Imagine driving through a peaceful neighborhood and discovering a home that looks as though it could have been lifted from the countryside of France or Belgium. Stone pathways, warm shutters, gracefully aged materials, beautiful proportions. Everything feels relaxed, yet undeniably elegant. Hay creates a warmth that feels especially beautiful during golden hour. As sunlight settles across the facade, the exterior takes on a richness that seems almost effortless. This is the kind of home where outdoor living becomes part of everyday life. Long conversations on the terrace, quiet evenings beneath string lights, mornings spent enjoying coffee while sunlight filters through mature trees. There's a lifestyle attached to this color, a slower pace, a deeper appreciation for beauty, and while hay creates remarkable charm, the next color introduces something even more exclusive, a luxury that feels uniquely curated. Color number 4, first crush. Luxury becomes far more interesting when it feels personal. That's exactly what makes first crush so memorable. There is something subtly distinctive about this color that immediately sets it apart from more predictable luxury palettes. Imagine a custom-designed residence where every detail feels intentional. Modern architectural lines meet natural materials. Oversized windows reflect the surrounding landscape. A statement entry door anchors the entire composition. Nothing feels ordinary, yet nothing feels excessive. First Crush thrives in this environment. It introduces a level of individuality that feels sophisticated rather than trendy, designer selected rather than mass market. The type of exterior that leaves a lasting impression because it feels unique without ever trying too hard. As evening settles in and warm interior lighting begins glowing through expansive windows, the home feels both contemporary and timeless. And that balance is incredibly difficult to achieve. Still, we're now approaching the top 3, and the next colors begin operating on an entirely different level of luxury. Color number 3, Dover White. Few exterior colors communicate timeless American elegance quite like Dover White. There's a richness to this warm white that feels instantly familiar and reassuring. It enhances traditional architecture beautifully while preserving a sense of sophistication that never goes out of style. Imagine a stately home with expansive porches, elegant columns, and beautifully maintained grounds stretching toward the street. As evening arrives, landscape lighting softly illuminates pathways while warm light glows through large windows. The entire property feels welcoming, established, enduring. Dover White excels because it manages to feel both grand and approachable at the same time. It creates curb appeal that doesn't depend on trends or dramatic contrasts. Instead, it relies on proportion, warmth, and timeless beauty. The The result is a home that feels just as impressive 10 years from now as it does today. And while Dover White delivers extraordinary elegance, the next color introduces an even greater sense of richness and architectural depth. Color number 2, Doeskin. Some colors simply look expensive. Doeskin is one of them. From the moment it appears on a facade, it creates a sense of refinement that's difficult to ignore. Picture a luxury residence framed by mature landscaping, natural stone retaining walls, and carefully designed outdoor living spaces. Every material feels intentional. Every detail contributes to a larger vision. Doeskin strengthens that vision beautifully. Its rich taupe character adds depth, substance, and sophistication to the entire exterior. At sunset, the color becomes especially captivating. Warm light settles across the architecture while subtle shadows reveal texture and dimension throughout the facade. The home feels substantial, custom, architecturally significant, yet despite its sophistication, Doeskin remains incredibly welcoming. There's comfort here, warmth, a sense that luxury and everyday living can coexist perfectly. It's an extraordinary combination, but one final color manages to bring together everything we've admired throughout this countdown. Color number 1, Universal Khaki. And now we've arrived at number 1, Universal Khaki. If luxury exterior design is ultimately about creating a home that feels beautiful year after year, this color may come closer than almost any other. Everything about it feels balanced. The warmth feels natural. The sophistication feels effortless. The curb appeal feels timeless. Imagine a beautifully designed home as evening settles across the neighborhood. Natural stone catches the last rays of sunlight. Rich wood accents glow softly beneath architectural lighting. Black-framed windows reflect the fading sky while warm interior light begins to shine from within. Nothing competes, everything belongs. Universal Khaki has an extraordinary ability to unite materials, architecture, and landscape into a single, cohesive vision. Whether paired with stone, brick, wood, traditional architecture, or modern design, it consistently creates an exterior that feels elevated and enduring. But perhaps its greatest achievement is emotional. It doesn't simply make a house look beautiful, it makes it feel like home. The kind of home you never grow tired of seeing. The kind of home that welcomes you back at the end of every day. The kind of home that still feels beautiful decades later. And that's why Universal Khaki earns the number 1 position. If one of these colors captured your imagination, I'd love to hear which one it was. Was it the warmth of Dimity, the sophistication of Doeskin, or the timeless appeal of Universal Khaki? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoy exploring luxury exteriors, timeless architecture, and beautifully designed homes, be sure to join me for the next tour, where we'll discover even more ways to create curb appeal that feels elegant, welcoming, and truly unforgettable.